More America, how we doing today? We are out here in the woods. Got a little stream behind me. This is like picture perfect. I just love this spot. I'm up here close to Leadville, Colorado, and I just absolutely love this little campsite. So what I thought I'd do is get into a little woodworking, wood carving, I guess I should say. I got a friend of mine, Brian, Adventure Van Man is his YouTube channel, and he got into wood carving a couple years ago, I guess. And he's made spoons and forks and ladles, pancake flippers, that kind of stuff. Pancake turners, I should say. And anyway, I thought I would try my hand at it. About a week or so ago, I was at a campsite and somebody left some firewood there. And what they did is they left different kinds. Now this here I know is aspen because I can see the bark on it. And the problem with this aspen is there's too many knots. A little branch coming out here and another little branch that comes out here and another one right here. And it's really hard to carve around those knots and everything, at least what I'm wanting to do on this project. But there was other kind of firewood. There was this kind, and I don't know what species this is. It doesn't look the same as far as the grain structure and everything. It looks quite a bit different. So I don't know what species this is, but it was in the same firewood pile. And the problem I have with this is there's some cracks running in it here, just different places and stuff. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to use this. And what I've done is you take a little hatchet, and this is just a little old cheap $10 hatchet. I bought it at Tractor Supply or someplace. Maybe Harbor Freight. I don't remember. It's Trooper brand. So it's not a very good axe. It's a cheap axe. Okay. But what you do is, here's what I'm going to make. Little flippers, like when you're cooking breakfast and you got some potatoes and eggs and sausage or whatever in the skillet, and you can use that to stir it up. Okay, that's what I'm going to try to make this out of. This is what I made. I'm happy with this one. It's not finished, of course. I'm going to wait till I get back to the shop back home and put it on a sander and smooth all this out and make a real nice tapered tip. Okay. As I look at it, you can't see on camera, but there's a little crack running right through. So I'm going to have to sand down to that crack so that crack disappears. And also smooth out the handle and everything. But that's my very first one right there. And I thought I did pretty darn good. It's not bad. Not bad for my very first one. All right, so the second one, I started the video up and I got to going on it. And where's the piece at? There's a piece in here somewhere. There it is. And that piece right there broke off right in the middle. Like I said, there's little hairline cracks. Then after I got to working on this one a little bit, I realized there's cracks right here and right there. Something I really shouldn't have even started on. That's firewood now. It's kindling. So that's that piece there. So what I'm going to do is I've cut off another piece here, and this is just about the right size. It's the right length. It's the right width. Thickness is a little bit thick, but I think I'm going to try this one because I see a crack running this way, but I think if I slice it, that crack will be done away with. But there's no cracks going long ways or width ways, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera in, put it real close here so you can see what I'm doing right here. And this is too far away right now. So let me readjust the camera, okay? All right, like I said, here's the piece I'm going to work on. And as you can see, maybe you can see there's a crack right there. You see that split? Okay, that's kind of worrisome, but it's going this way. So if I split and get rid of a lot of that, I don't think that'll be a problem. Or I can use this as the handle part. This piece up here has a really, really minor crack right here. Very, very minor. So I'm going to use, which was it? Yeah, this end. I'm going to use this end. And also you see it's at a little bit of an angle. I don't want it square. I want it just a little bit of an angle. So this works out perfect. So what I'm going to do here, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split this down a little bit and try to get a little bit thinner. Okay. Now I'm going to use the stub for that. And I need, there we go. Oh, don't have enough hands. Now I'm trying to be very careful with this because I'm out here in the woods by myself, and if I break something or cut myself, I'll be in trouble. So trying to be very careful, safety conscious. There we go. All right, So now I've got two. All right, so I'm going to pick out which one I think is going to make the best little spatula. I'm looking at different cracks and things like that. Now this one here, it's got a crack right here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a crack right there where my fingernail is. So I don't think I'm going to use this one. If I do, I'll use this side for the blade and this for the handle, maybe. I'm going to set this one aside. I think this one is actually looking pretty good. Yeah, there's a crack right there, which would be right in the middle of the handle. Let's use this one. I'm going to use this as the blade part, and this is the handle side, okay? So what I'm going to do is, whoop, get back here. Move some of this out of my way, and I'm going to just draw a, get out of here, sweat bee. Get out of here, get out of here, go on. They're persistent. Colorado bugs are persistent as hell. I'm just going to come in like that, and then this one here, same kind of thing. I'm going to come in, and when it starts to curve, it's just a guideline so I can see, you know, give you an idea where to cut. All right, now this is a lot thinner than this early one. This one here I used, when I started with this one, it was twice as thick as this. And I realized there was a lot I had to get rid of. So that's why I'm going to try a thinner piece here. Don't know if it's going to work right, but we're going to try it. All right, so now bring my block up here. Now I'm trying to be, like I said, be very careful with this because I don't want to, you know, you don't want to hold the wood down here because you might cut your thumb off, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm trying to be very safety conscious. I've watched several videos about it, and just you know, people give you ideas, but I'm just going to hog off a lot of this wood. See, I'm going to try to hog off a lot of the wood onto the side here. All right, so I'm going to go up here, kind of hog that off, and I'm really choked up on the axe. I'm not down here doing this because if you miss, it swings down, hits your leg or something. So I'm really choked up on this, and keeping my fingers out of the way. Take little bitty pieces at first. And what I'm trying to do is notch out right in this area right here, okay? Like I said, this is number 3. There's number 1, came out pretty good. I'm happy with that one. This one here broke on me, so it was number 2. And this is number 3. I've never done this before. Never done any kind of carving like this before in my life. All right. So I got a lot of that out of there. I'm gonna try to get a little bit more. See, I still got some more to go in that corner right here. Okay. There we go. Try this way just a little bit. There we go. Now I've got most of that hogged out. The rest of that I'm going to get with a knife. All right, now I got to hog this out, this side, and I can't see what I'm doing because the line's on that side and I can't see this side, so I'm just going to have to stop every so while and look at it. If you want to learn any of this kind of stuff, what you'd look up is like wooden spoon carving or hatchet carving. Now, like I said, this is a real cheap $10 axe. I sharpened it when I first got it. It's not terribly sharp anymore, but it's doing the job. Okay. Okay. I don't want to go too far on that way because it'll chip out. Okay, all right. I think I got most of it. I'm worried about this right here. Hopefully it ain't gonna happen the same thing. That's why I'm gonna quit with the hatchet. I'm gonna set that aside. Now, I bought this knife. It's an old timer knife. I bought that off of Amazon. and it's got a full tang. It's got a really wide blade at the back. It's like a camp knife, basically. It's not really a whittling knife, but it's all I got. I'm doing this to see if I like this. If I like it, I'm going to order some actual carving. Get out of here, bug. Some actual carving knives when I get back home. Okay, get out of here. Get out of here, bugs. So that's a big old horsefly. That was a big horsefly. He's gone now. But actually, I got most of that out of there. Let me see, I was about ready to do this, and that's bad because if you slip, you cut your thumb. Okay, so I'm just going to trim on this a little bit. See what I think. I got a little too much out of that one already, so I'm going to try trimming that out a little bit. There we go, just very small pieces coming off. I'm past the hogging it off. This is where I'm starting to do more fine detail stuff. Okay, now I don't want to cut this way because it'll cut into that wood and it'll split right along that way. So always cut this way, away from, you know, down from the grain. I guess that's what you'd call it, I don't know. And I'm not, like I said, this is not a how-to, because I've never done this before. This is me showing you my first attempt. All right, so I kind of got that whittled down pretty close to where I want it. Okay, so I'm going to work on this side now. You can see that. Let me get you a little bit closer. Aim you down where my hands are. See how I'm just taking little pieces out of that corner. And I was watching the videos and stuff, you know, how to and all this kind of stuff, and safety of doing this. Don't ever get your finger to where you can cut it. Try to keep your fingers down out of the way. Even if you slip, it's stopped by the wood right there. You can't cut your finger. That's my big thing I'm trying not to do, is cut myself. Now, if I really get into this, I'll get a glove that is not a cut proof, but a cut resistant glove. Kind of has metal fibers in it, I think. But I want to keep the handle a little bit wider. I think that handle's about where I want it. I don't want it any thinner than that. So about the only thing I really have to work on. See this little bevel? It's not square. It's angled a little bit. Whoop. See right here? That's where it's square. It's angled. I'm going to cut a little bit more of this off. Try to square this edge up. Okay. And that gets me down to where when I get home I can put it on a sander and I can sand the rest of this out of here. I don't have to go to this line. That was just a guide. I think I'm good where I'm at right there. Okay. So just kind of just pretty it up a little bit more maybe. All right. Now, if you can see, it's way too thick up here at the top. It's way too thick. This needs to chamfer down, okay? So, I think I'm going to take a little bit off of each side, and I'm going to actually do that with the hatchet here, okay? Angle you down really good. Now, probably shouldn't be doing the hatchet right here. I probably ought to just be doing knife only, but I'm learning. I'm probably goofing up, but I'm learning. I'm just trying to hog a little bit of this off of here, so I don't have as much to work with the knife. The more you use your hatchet, the less knife work you have to work with. So. This is really one of the simplest projects you can do with this kind of woodworking or whittling or wood carving, whatever phrase you want to use. All right, I'm going to do the other side. Take a little bit off of here. Kind of want to make it even, so it's flat both ways. Need to take a little bit more off of here. And see, I've got a little bit of an angle to it. It's not squared off. It's got a little bit of an angle. I like that. So when I'm in a skillet, I got my skillet here, and I can point that over in a corner and get around, you know. So I think I want that angle left in there. So, all right, so let's work a little bit more with the knife. I remember as a kid when I was about, oh gosh, I don't even know anymore. I was probably about 6th grade, so what would I be, about 11, 12 years old, about 11 years old. I was whittling with an X-Acto knife. And I had a twig. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me go get a twig. I'll be right back. There we go. All right. Now, this is my pretend X-Acto knife, okay? And here's my twig that I was whittling with. Of course, it had that little beveled, let me try a different one here. It had that little beveled, let me do this. There we go. Now I got an X-Acto knife. But I was sitting there whittling like this. And I come across a little, where a twig would come out, you know, a leaf or whatever would come out. And I was going, I couldn't get through it. So I turned it around like this. And right there, I've got a scar. That went all the way to bone, and it cut a nerve tendon and bled like a stuck hog. So we try not to do that. So you don't cut this way. You don't cut that way because you cut yourself. And anyway, didn't have YouTube back in the day, so I couldn't learn anywhere. Nobody I knew how to do any of that kind of stuff, you know, whittling and whatever. But I think we're getting down about where I'm going to leave this thing alone until I get home. And we're pretty good. We're pretty good. I'm happy with that. It's still got a flat profile on the handle. The reason I like that is if it's perfectly round, I like to be able to have a feel to it, so you can put your thumb on there and, you know, dig around. But I think I'm just about done with this blank, or we'll just call this a rough end. Okay, we'll just call this a rough end right in here. And when I get home, I'm going to put it on my sander, and I'm just going to sand that nice and smooth, and I'll sand it right down to a nice point. So, all right. So what do I got here? I got 2 of them. This is my first attempt. See how much fatter and thicker it is? I gave up. I didn't. It's also got a crack in it, so I don't know how that's going to work out when I get home. Okay, this near actually come out a little bit nicer, a little thinner, but I do see little hairline cracks down in here. So I don't know how that's going to work as this wood dries out. See, here's a big crack in the first one I did. That big crack right there. Well, okay, so I don't know how that's going to work out when I get home, but hey, it's all right for a first attempt. What the heck, you know? And if they work, great. If they don't, throw them in the fireplace. All right, so I hope you liked that video. It's something different, I suppose. Kind of like I'm out here camping in one spot for 4, 5, 6 days, whatever. I think the most I've ever done is 5 days, five nights, I should say. And you kind of run out of things to do other than just watch TV and, you know, take pictures of stuff. And, you know, I don't have a whole lot of hobbies, so to say, so I think this might be a fun little hobby to get into. Eventually get to where I can do spoons and forks and other kinds of stuff. Learn the right kind of wood. I have a feeling this wood is not going to be any good. It probably won't be good for the actual cooking, you know, getting oil in it and everything. And I don't know if it'll hold up, because when you go to a store and buy a store-bought wooden spatula, so to say, they're made out of a totally different kind of wood, a much finer grained wood. So I have a suspicion this is just for practice, you know, but we'll find out. We'll see. Anyway, trying to find hobbies, you know, so when I get out here, other than just sitting watching TV, I can whittle, I can carve. I'm going to get into making the little spirit men on a tree branch, you know, cut a tree branch about so much and then carve an old man's face into it, stuff like that. I think that's pretty neat. So we'll get into that maybe, and I'll do those throughout the summer maybe, and if I got a whole bunch of them, I'll give them away to friends in Quartzsite maybe. I don't know. So what am I going to do with that? I don't know. But another thing I want to try is I want to learn how to fly fish. I've always wanted to learn how to fly fish, and haven't done any of that this year. I don't have a license up here, nothing like that. Don't have any equipment. I haven't fished in years. So it's a hobby I want to get into. So, well, anyway, with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's something a little bit different, you know. It's not the traveling truck, you know, driving down the highway with all the music and everything. But it's just, I was cutting that one out, and I got to thinking, hey, maybe this will make a good video. You tell me. So with that, y'all be good, take care, and we'll see you on down the road somewhere. Damn, it's pretty out here.